New efforts tonight to make certain taxpayer dollars spent to stimulate our economy benefits American workers and American companies. Amendments to the economic stimulus bill in the House would add Buy America and Hire American provisions that would ensure an extension of the E-Verify program at the same time. E-Verify is the successful federal program that has open border and amnesty enthusiasts running scared. Also, it would assure that employers would be absolutely certain of the legal status of their employees. Lisa Sylvester has our report.
Congress is preparing to spend more than $800 billion or higher to jumpstart the U.S. economy. New roads, bridges, and schools. Some lawmakers and labor groups want Buy American provisions included in the stimulus package to make sure it's Americans who are being put to work.
It makes no sense to appropriate taxpayer dollars for stimulus programs if the businesses that receive them go out and buy imported products, imported materials.
The House Appropriations Committee voted 55-0 on a Buy America amendment that requires only U.S. steel be used in projects funded by stimulus dollars. Meanwhile, Congressman Jack Kingston has introduced a Hire Americans amendment. It would require contractors and subcontractors who receive stimulus money use the federal E-Verify system to ensure only people legally authorized to work in the United States are hired.
The stimulus package is to get Americans working again, and if we are creating a situation where people can continue to use illegal aliens, then we're not helping the American taxpayers who should be getting these jobs from the stimulus package.
But business groups are pushing back. In a letter to Democratic congressional leaders, 15 business groups, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, said these mandates would undermine the goals of the stimulus legislation, diminish efficiency in the contracting process, and violate the United States' international trade agreements. The conservative Heritage Foundation says Buy American provisions backfired during the Great Depression.
They passed the Smoot-Hawley Act that massively raised tariffs and shut down most international trade in order to get Americans to buy American. The hope was that it would stimulate the economy. What actually happened is it's something that most economists look back and say that made the Great Depression quite a bit more severe, quite a bit worse.
Now, I spoke to Alan Tonelson with the U.S. Business and Industry Council about this very point, and he said the United States' trading partners are already taking steps to protect their workers and their economy. Just look at China. They've had protectionist measures in place for years, and that's created an unlevel trading field. The question now is if the United States should respond and do more to protect its own workers and industries. Lou?
It's extraordinary. That makes no sense. By the way, if I hear one more idiot economist speak in such simple terms about the Great Depression and Smoot-Hawley, without considering, for example, the very important role that the failure of the world's reserve currency had in the early 1930s in stifling international trade, rather than Smoot-Hawley, which had a negligible and much subdued effect on trade. I mean, this is just ridiculous that otherwise educated economists don't even understand the history of economics and the truth of the policy choices that were made at that time. It's utterly mind-boggling.
Yeah, and you can tell that this is going to be one of the talking points that will be coming up again and again as they continue to debate this on Capitol Hill.
Don't you love the Chamber of Commerce? The U.S. Chamber, I wish they'd take U.S. off, because they're not representing business. They're representing multinational business in this country. They couldn't give a hoot about small business, which, by the way, creates 80% of the jobs, as you well know, in this country. I mean, this is a group of absolute jerks. And if American business doesn't find the guts and the principle to stand up and say the Chamber of Commerce no longer represents business in this country, the shame will last for years. I would think that big business in this country would have learned from the disaster that the mindless mouthpieces at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Business Roundtable and, of course, on Wall Street have wrought over the course of the past 2 years. Lisa, as always, great reporting. Thank you very much.